What's going on, everybody? In this video I'm bringing you 10 fragrances under 50 bucks that I deem some great affordable fragrances that can help you stand out. Not everyday run-of-the-mill fragrances. Not everyone around you is typically going to be wearing these fragrances, so this can kind of set you apart while not breaking the mold too much and having you smell challenging, if you will. So stay tuned. Starting with one that here in the community has become quite popular over the last few years, and for good reason. It's one of the better designer amber vanilla scents out there. Of course, I am talking about Mercedes-Benz Black. This is one of those hype beasts you may have heard of. It's mostly people in the know. Folks like you and I that are really into this community, and those of you that are stopping by for the first time, that are really just starting to discover this wonderful hobby and world of fragrances, this is a gem of a fragrance. Typically, it can be found from most places in the mid to high 40s, low 50s range. Absolutely worth every penny. It is a steal at that price point. Doesn't smell really synthetic, while not some super high quality luxury fragrance at the same time. It smells about middle of the road in quality, which for the average person walking by, they'll just think you smell incredible, because this does smell incredible. It performs really well. It's one that you can just spray it on, go on about your business. Great in the evenings, great in the colder weather, and can definitely turn a head or two. It has this warm amber smell. There's not much spice here, just a little touch of it in the background, kind of supporting this, because there's a very creamy, just almost airy and fluffy type of vanilla here. It's not too dense and too thick, but it is creamy. It's a little airy, and it's very warm. A little powdery, not some big powdery, flowery bomb or anything like that. When I say powdery, don't go there with it, because it's not that level of powdery. But this is a pretty sexy fragrance, honestly. It does have some sweet gourmand touches, but for most, it just smells incredible. And if you get your hands on the bottle, I'm pretty sure you will agree. Again, this is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Not one that too many people talk about these days, but still can be had for the sub $40 price point from most discounters online. It does kind of match the theme of today's modern fragrances, where it's mass appealing, it's nose catching, more so than eye catching because it's a scent, and can garner the occasional compliment for sure. I'm talking about Coach for Men Platinum. While I do personally love the freshness of the original, there's no denying how great this one smells. Does perform a little bit better. Kind of takes a cue from a few different fragrances. Has some hints of Dior Sauvage, one of the most popular fragrances on the market. Has a lovely sweet vanilla, this juicy fruit pineapple smell in the top, with that suede amberwood type of smell that the original that this is flankered from is known for. Very lovely fragrance. Like I said, mid 30s, low 40s range. You can get a 100 milliliter bottle like this. You don't need a lot of sprays. You can go kind of easy on this one, kind of a less is more kind of fragrance, because it does push, it does project, it will grab people's attention, it will be in your face for the first few hours, and it's not your average run-of-the-mill fragrance where everybody around you is going to be wearing it. If anything, they'll be wearing the original Coach for Men, and you'll be coming through with Coach for Men Platinum, having everyone curious. Check this one out if you haven't. I think it's quite the delight. Now, I'm willing to bet most people around you, if not all those around you, don't own this and probably have never smelled this before. This will definitely set you apart from your coworkers, your friends, and so on. I'm talking about Azzaro pour Homme. This is the Naughty Leather Flanker. One you probably didn't expect, those of you that are regulars to the channel. So this one has a little bit of a fresh green component to it, but it's more so about the vanilla in the leather. It's a soft, supple leather. It's not real in your face or rough and rugged. There's no edge to this fragrance. It's quite smooth. It's a little creamy, but the vanilla here just adds this nice sweetness to it without making it a very creamy fragrance. The leather is definitely the star of the show here, and I love that it's a soft, much more appealing, mass appealing, if you will, type of leather note here. This is a pleasing sweet scent that is not too sweet. It's not overly candied, sickeningly sweet. This has that type of intoxicating sweet aroma that's just enough to really grab somebody's attention when you walk by. Is everybody going to say something? No, that's highly unlikely. But the probability of someone saying something is definitely up there with a fragrance like Azzaro Naughty Leather. Not one that gets talked about too often, which is why it's one of the perfect fragrances at an affordable price point that can set you apart from everyone around you. Azzaro Naughty Leather. In my opinion, this is the high point of the line. I think it takes the best of everything that came out before it and kind of just made a smoother, richer version that performs pretty well for the most part. I'm talking about Montblanc Legend. This is the newest, the Eau de Parfum flanker. This is a lovely, rich, fruity smell. Still has a little bit of that spice that the original is known for. It's smooth, it's refined, it's polished, whereas the original was a bit scratchy, if you will, a little more on the synthetic side, but still a great attention grabber that kind of a slightly matured version of the, all-time men's classic at this point. Yes, I'm about to say that, about Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. This still has hints of that smell because this is a richer version of the fragrance that smells most similar to it. But here, the performance is dialed up. It's much more rich, robust, full, and smooth as compared to the original, and a lot warmer. There's a warm apple quality to this one in the top. While the notes don't tell you the entire story, you do get some of what the notes will tell you. It is violet leaf dominant. It does kind of have that almost aquatic feel while still being warm and fruity. It's extremely appealing, and even if someone around you happens to be wearing the original, you're going to smell different enough, and honestly, in my opinion, you're going to smell better than them in the first place, and you'll probably start the conversation. They may even ask you, that smells great, what are you wearing? And they'll be floored to know that it's the big brother to the fragrance that they're wearing. Is that likely? Not highly. Is it possible? You never know, because the original's a pretty popular fragrance, but like I said before, in my opinion, this is hands down the best in the line. Again, that's Montblanc Legend, Eau de Parfum. John Varvatos, wonderful designer house, edgy, modern, has a lot of appeal to the modern day man, and their fragrances are nothing short of matching the vibe of the clothing line from the brand. And one of the fragrances that does not get enough love, that I find is different enough and appealing enough to warrant being in your fragrance wardrobe, is John Varvatos and Nick Jonas Crimson. The red bottle. This is one of the 3 collaboration fragrances with Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. And honestly, this is probably the most appealing and attractive of the 3. While silver and blue are quite mass appealing, this one has a bit more character because it's sweeter, it's a little fruitier, it's got this warm rum, boozy note up top, and it's just an overall more attractive smell. If you're looking for a more attractive smell to potentially turn some heads, garner some compliments, and kind of set you apart from the run-of-the-mill, everyday, mass-appealing fragrance, in my opinion, this would be the way to go of the 3 for sure, because the other 2 are much more run-of-the-mill, modern-day, versatile fragrance. This one, a little sweet, a little boozy, fruity. It's different. Not crazy different, not off-the-wall different, but a little different, appealing. Out the norm would be a good phrase for this fragrance, and you can find them for a decent price. This 4.2 ounce bottle, this was $35 if I remember correctly at a TJ Maxx. They pop up at the rack stores, even online from discounters, discount websites. You can find them in the sub $40 range. 2.5 ounce bottles, even less. Overlooked, underrated, can definitely set you apart. John Varvatos and Nick Jonas, Crimson. One that definitely is a head turner because it's different. It takes what I believe makes 2 wonderful fragrances in their own right. When you take these 2 different notes and accords and create individualistic fragrances and make this the dominating note, they make for wonderful men's fragrances. But when you put them together, it makes a special elixir, in my opinion. I'm talking about Roberto Cavalli Uomo. This is Silver Essence, a flanker to the original. The original's wonderful. It's a beautiful violet, honey, sweet, slightly masculine, slightly gourmand floral fragrance that alone can set you apart from the average person that you're going to be around, whereas this steps it up, in my opinion, because it takes violet leaf, it takes orris, it pushes them to the forefront, it blends them almost to perfection, in my opinion, especially for a designer fragrance, and gives this fragrance so much character. It dresses up extremely easy. It's going to make you smell luxurious in a t-shirt, believe it or not, because it does have a class and elegance to it. If you're not careful, this fragrance could wear you if you're not the most confident guy. If you're skittish and you're kind of to himself and slump your shoulders, it's a little too classy for a t-shirt then in that situation, in my opinion. But this one definitely steps the game up, and it's not expensive. 60 ml like this, in the $25, $30 range from discounters. Performs, it's almost an all-day spray. It's like a 6 to 8 hour fragrance. For most people, for my skin, 6 to 8 hours. Every time I wear it, if you spray your clothes, it'll be on there the next day. But it has that appeal. This is a little bit more powdery than the Mercedes fragrance I was discussing earlier. But at the same time, this is that fragrance that adds that class and elegance. It doesn't have that sexy nighttime appeal that the Mercedes fragrance had. This is much more daytime, class, kind of grounded. This is much more for the guy that knows what he wants, confident throughout his day, handles his business. This will definitely set you apart. You walk the walk, you talk the talk. Why don't you have the smell to match? This is that kind of fragrance, in my opinion. Can definitely set you apart. Can most likely be a conversation starter. I would say at least 7 times out of 10 when somebody smells you, they're going to wonder, what's the deal with that fragrance? Because they probably never smelled anything like it before. It's quite unique, in my opinion, and it's a great affordable option to set you apart. Is Roberto Cavalli Uomo Silver Essence. I just recently did a full review on this fragrance. I think it's one of the best bang for your buck bargain steal men's fragrances out there. I paid $20 for this tester bottle, which came with the cap and a white tester box. I'm talking about Pepe Jeans Celebrate for Him. So this has more gourmand touches to it. There's this cacao note that has this chocolatey leather type of smell. There's some spices here. Oh man, there's a dark, robust, almost flavor to it when you smell it. It's tasty, the aroma, because it's so chocolatey, but not, I say so chocolatey, but not so chocolatey that you're going to smell like a Hershey bar or anything like that. Don't mistake what I'm saying for that. It's appealing. It's dark, it's spicy, it's a little gourmandly sweet, and there's a strong woody backbone here. There's even a little bit of a smoky nuance in the dry down, full of character, interesting, intriguing, conversation starter. Set you apart from the rest. $20 to $30. Where I got it from at Kingdom Fragrances, which is always linked down below. At the recording of this, I believe they're sold out currently, but other places you can find it to $20 to $30 as well. It is a steal. It's an above average performer, not some crazy room filling beast that's going to last 12 hours, but 6 to 8 hour fragrance, again, that does push pretty well off of my skin. It does grab attention. I have gotten a compliment off my most recent wearing when I went to a local Sam's Club, actually, walking down an aisle. This stuff, it can grab some attention, and for me, it's one of the more unique smelling designer fragrances, especially at the price point of $20 to $30. Quite the affordable steal. Definitely can set you apart. Just a great fragrance, in my opinion. Pepe Jeans, Celebrate for Him. While a little bit more on the youthful side, especially with the brand, it's much more interesting than you may think when you see what fragrance we're talking about next. I'm talking about Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme. So this is popping up again at the rack stores, and what's so special about this one, it's the best performer in the line. This is 6+ hours depending on your skin. I've had people tell me they even get 10 hours. I get 7 to 8 hours on my skin, so anywhere from 6 to 10 hours. Your experience will vary from one man to the next. This is interesting. It's musky, it's spicy, it's creamy, while still maintaining some of that melon aquatic appeal of the original. This is an interesting fragrance. Not the most natural smell. Definitely more on the synthetic side. It doesn't smell like a $150 fragrance, don't get me wrong, but anywhere from $20 to $30, you're going to be able to get your hands on a 50 to 100 milliliter bottle. This is a 50 milliliter bottle. It performs, and it's different. I don't have any other fragrance in my collection that has this combination of creamy, musky, spicy, woody, melon aquatic, watery melon type of smell with all of that warmth and spice like this, and it performs. That's the best thing for most people. Is I know you guys are looking for something you can spray on and go on about your day. You don't have to worry about refreshing. In my experience, this is one of those fragrances. It is on the much more affordable side. It's definitely different from the rest. I'm almost willing to bet you'll be the only guy in the room, or at work, or at dinner, or at an event, or whatever the hell you're doing. You're probably going to be the only guy that smells like this. It's definitely interesting. It can garner some positive attention, and it will set you apart from the rest. That is Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme. So it's no secret I'm a big fan of blue fragrances. Blue fragrances tend to be pretty mass appealing, more on the fresher side of things. Easy to like, easy to wear, kind of work for everything. Most people enjoy them, that wear them, that smell them on others, and so on. And in my opinion, for the money, it doesn't get better than this. I'm talking about Salvatore Ferragamo Aqua Essenziale Blue. So this is a little sweet, it's aromatic, it's a little soapy, powdery, there's a touch of citrus up top. There's a ton of character here. It's dense, but not too heavy of a wear. Signature scent worthy, you can wear it year round. Not one I like to wear in the high heat in summer, but the rest of the year, by all means. For me, it performs fantastically. Prices are up a little bit from how it used to be. You used to be able to get them pretty easy in the low 20s. Now, mid-30s, low 30s range, which is still, in my opinion, a great bargain for this fragrance. This is one of my favorite fragrances in my collection, and have hundreds and hundreds of fragrances, and this is top 10 in my collection. For my taste, for what it can do for me, for how much it just works in every situation. This is one of those fragrances. You can wear it to work, you can go on into your evening, go out to dinner with the wife or your girlfriend or your significant other, whatever have you. You can go hang with the boys, you can go have a beer, you can do whatever. You can relax on your day off and run errands. This fragrance suits everything year round. It's affordable. If you can catch a 50 milliliter bottle like this at the rack stores, they do pop up for $16.99. Absolute crazy steal at that point, but even in the 30 some odd dollar range for a 100 milliliter bottle, still great price in my opinion. This will definitely set you apart. It doesn't smell like all the other blue fragrances. You don't smell exactly like Versace Dylan Blue. You don't smell exactly like Bleu de Chanel. You don't smell exactly like Dior Sauvage. This fragrance kind of stands on its own while taking cues from each of them to make its own fragrance. Definitely one of the best in my opinion. Aqua Essenziale Blue, Salvatore Ferragamo. Last but not least, this has that familiar sweet aquatic opening that's oh so desirable for so many people, with this lovely spicy and woody heart and dry down. It's appealing, it's nose catching, it's head turning in my experience. Davidoff Run Wild. Very affordable fragrance. Very. Around 20 bucks will get you a 50 milliliter like this. 30 bucks a 100 milliliter. Solid performer. It's like a 6-hour fragrance on my skin. That's going rate for most fragrances. You may get a little bit more, you may get a little bit less, but it's appealing nonetheless. This stuff can turn a few heads. Like I said, it's got that sweet aquatic and Paco Rabanne Invictus type of opening that's appealing. It'll catch somebody when you walk by. That aroma, it's a head turner. It's proven over the years. That's why so many companies have replicated that opening. Davidoff being nothing short of doing the same thing while trying to switch it up a little bit by adding a lot of spices, warm spice, just this extra seduction to the aroma. And it's not so dense that you can't wear it in the heat, though another one I wouldn't really want to wear in the high heat. But summer evenings, fantastic fragrance. Like I said, this one's appealing. It will set you apart while not being completely different from everything else. Like I said, it's got that opening of Invictus Aqua with some lovely spices. I believe it's cinnamon that's in its heart. It's not breaking any molds for being different, but at the same time, what's the likelihood that the guy next to you is wearing this? Let's be honest with one another. You're probably going to smell a bit different. You'll probably be the guy that gets the compliment. While not a guarantee that anybody's going to tell you how good you smell, fragrances like this, the likelihood, it definitely goes up because they're so appealing. They smell great. And like I said before, it's not your everyday run-of-the-mill blue fragrance. Your barbershop fragrances or your modern blue fragrances that are full of ambroxan or ISOE Super or any of those modern aroma chemicals that are designed to be appealing and easy to like. This kind of takes a little bit of that, twists it, adds some spices, kind of makes it its own for 20 bucks for this size bottle. And that's Davidoff. Run wild. Well, that's the 10 I have for you today. Until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Those of you that are regulars on the channel, what do you have that was featured in this video? Those of you new to the channel, did any of this catch your eye? Do you have any of these as well? I hope this video was helpful for some, if nothing else, entertaining and enjoyable for you to watch. I thank you for watching all the way through for those of you that did. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 10 fragrances featured in this video and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.